welcome back to my channel. I am Sarah of Tarot and Oracle for the Soul. This week I am continuing on with my Lucy Cavendish decks, and this one is the vampires. And I'm not usually a vampire person, but of course I saw this all over TarotTube, and I really do like Lucy Cavendish. And I have actually used this one and I enjoy it. These vampires are not very scary because of course the artwork isn't scary. So this is copyrighted by Blue Angel from 2014. And this is really about working with your shadow, and it's really great if you're codependent and you have a hard time setting boundaries. This deck is for you if you have issues with that. It's all about protecting your energy and setting boundaries and kind of being a little fierce, which, you know, that's the lesson of the vampires is you know, protecting yourself, right? So, and the shadow and shadow work. So I have actually found, like, I've had some profound readings with this. It says, this magical guidebook will introduce you to the powerful ancient vampires and includes comprehensive instructions on how to safely connect with them, how to work with your cards, and 3 easy to learn spreads to give you readings of extraordinary support and clear guidance when working through a time of difficulty or loss in your life. So yeah, this is just like, it's a very empowering deck, and I like the messages on the cards. So like you can see, there's eternal youth, enlightenment, which we'll go through all of that when we go through the cards. So it starts out with the vampires lifting the veil. Who are the vampires? Why would the vampires help me? Why work with the vampires? How will you know they are with you? What the vampires will help you with. So it says, one of their wonderful attributes because of their own struggle in overcoming their hunger is that they can help you to overcome habits and traits that have held you back or created illness, division, and discord in your life. They also allow you to honestly undertake a kind of self-inventory where you will forgive yourself for the seemingly harmful or selfish actions you may have taken throughout this lifetime. They will lift you from your self-hatred and the shame you have been so burdened with and need live with no longer. This is like a really powerful deck. I really do enjoy working with this. This is Are Vampires Real? A modern vampire story, layouts for the vampires, a ceremony blessing of your deck, how to shuffle your cards, reading for others. So again, there's the 3 cards. This time it's called the Trinity. And then we have a light in the darkness, the path through the night. So this is kind of cool. And then we have the Byzantine cross. And then we go into the card messages. So we have the vampires speak, blessing, curse, working with this card. So that's pretty cool. Lots of great information in here. Sorry, my lighting, the lighting isn't too good today, but hopefully you can see that. So we have about the author, Lucy Cavendish, and then about Jasmine Becket-Griffith. Yeah, her artwork is beautiful and not scary at all. So it makes working with the vampires in this deck not too scary. And I had another vampire deck that TarotTube made me buy that I gave to at the time, my boyfriend, who's now my husband. So it's back in my household, but that book is amazing. So I kept the book and he has the cards and we still have it that way. But these vampires are just so beautiful that it's not scary working with them. And I really like the cardstock of these. You can see the backs. These are nice and glossy and they are not sticky. They don't stick together, which is nice. So this is one time where, you know, I bought something from Tarot Tube because everyone said it was amazing and it was a great deck. And I actually agreed. And not to say that Tarot Tube always steers you wrong. It was just that when I went on my tarot collecting buying spree, tarot and oracle, you know, in like 2017 through 2019, I wasn't using my discernment. I didn't really know what I liked in cardstock. I didn't really know what I was looking for. I just was like, okay, these tarot tubers say this deck is great. And even if I didn't necessarily love the subject, I'd run out and buy it. But this time I'm actually happy I did because the artwork is beautiful. The book is amazing, and I have had some really great readings with it. So it worked out. So if you're looking for a deck to do shadow work and set boundaries and to do, you know, the really deep dive into your subconscious and to really pull things out, I do recommend this because this deck is dark yet beautiful. And it allows you to do it in a way where you're not like, oh my gosh, or at least for me, just totally overwhelmed. So far out of the Wild Fairy Oracle and the Mermaid Oracle by Lucy Cavendish, this cardstock on this deck is my favorite. It's glossy and smooth, but it doesn't stick together like it did in the Fairy and the Mermaid Oracle. Those, for some reason, that cardstock was just so sticky. This isn't too bad. You can get a decent shuffle. They're a little, you know, tall, a little long. It's almost too big for me to do this, but at least I can still overhand shuffle, which is nice. And I think if you wanted to, you could do the riffle shuffle. I don't believe in doing the riffle shuffle with my cards, but that's just my personal belief. So I don't do that, but I think you could. I don't think that this is too thick. You guys see that? The past is a prison. It says bitterness, grudge, refusal to let go. So it gives like a background on who the character is in the card. So this says that this is Miss Havisham, a character from Charles Dickens' Great Expectations, who she devours the young lives she encounters to avenge a great and devastating betrayal she experienced long ago in her treasured, nurtured past. She was left at the altar. So it's cool. It gives the story. And then it says, blessing. You now have a chance to free yourself from the sadness and misery of another and to set a wonderful example of how to live freely without bitterness and regret. And then curse, your kindness and desire to help may be creating a situation where you are hearing a great deal of negativity. This is having an impact on your energy. Please take steps to remove this influence and to listen less. So there's the boundary, right? Working with this card, find those who have suffered and who have moved on, for they are the great hearts, the ones who have the most to teach and who have the greatest souls. Find the ones who have not just forgiven, but who have taken their heart and put it into constructive purpose and helped many others. So I really love this. It's even a curse isn't really a curse. It's helping you discover what boundary needs to be set and how to, it even gives you examples on how to set that boundary. So I think this deck is perfect for empaths who are struggling with setting boundaries, recognizing and speaking their needs. This deck will really help you. And that's why it really resonates with me, because it is about shadow work and setting boundaries and being like, okay, I'm giving too much or I'm taking on too much. Where do I need to set that boundary? And this deck will help you with that. So any of you struggling with that, I do recommend this if you're not, too afraid of working with the vampires, which I know that for some people are truly terrified of vampires. I know a few people personally who absolutely would never, ever, ever, ever work with the vampires, even though they could use, some help setting boundaries or shadow work. But I know that for some people, the imagery of vampires is too scary, even when it's in beautiful art like this. So I understand if vampires are not your thing. I'm sure there's other decks out there where you can get the same information with just different images. And that's the thing, is if you are collecting tarot decks, ask yourself, do I like this subject matter? Do I like the artwork? Do I like the size of the cards? Do I like the cardstock? Does that matter to me? Because even if you like the author, like I love Lucy Cavendish, it doesn't mean you have to necessarily buy everything from them. And if somebody comes out with a deck, maybe it won't be like the next month, but even a year or two down the road, it might be the same subject matter, but it might speak to your subconscious, to your soul, whatever, better than the deck that everyone's hyping up at the moment. So don't feel like you need to buy like everything right away or that you need to have it. And if you don't have it, then you're going to mess out. That's not the case. I know we all get FOMO, especially when you first start out and you start collecting and you're like, oh, that deck, I have to have it. Like I'm on US Games. I receive emails, I'm on their mailing list to see when sales are, even though I'm on a low buy, no buy this year. I'm still receiving those, and I saw a new deck that came out, but it's like, I can wait until next year, or I can wait until whenever, because now, I don't have FOMO. I know that if I miss something, it's not a big deal, and that something better might come out. So it's like, just have patience and don't feel like you need to buy everything. I hope you enjoyed this flip through. Have fun and keep on shuffling.